Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of Easy Live here in the UK and Ireland. It is a Thursday stream on a Thursday. Are you nuts? And lots of exciting times. We've just off the back of the Microsoft announcement that was at 4 p.m. and the fresh news of Windows 11, which is coming later this year. I'm Adam Schofield, evangelist, working on behalf of Microsoft. I am joined, as ever, by these two lovely chaps. On to my right, your left. No, your right. One of our rights. It's Ben. How's it going, man?
Not too bad. A bit of a directional, not nowhere, but it tends to happen when you're on stream. Thank you for having me as well, co-hosting alongside you. Again, hi people. My name is Benjamin Obaji, as well as working on behalf of Microsoft in the Digital Evangelist Training Team in the UK and I division, and it is great. It is great, and I'm excited.
It's a good time. We'll get onto excitement and being pumped in just a moment. Down just below us here is Mr. Greg Proctor. How's it going, man?
Well, you just said we can't talk about being pumped and excited, but that's all I really am at the moment. I'm also from the UK and I evangelist team, working on behalf of Microsoft. Very, very excited. I can't really keep it in any longer, to be perfectly honest with you. Been sat through that first introductory video, just started being in on my own.
That is fair. We have a huge amount to cover. We have a lot of people in the chat today. I'm gonna see if our chat overlay works today, if things start coming in. And I thought I was gonna bring the old stuff in, it doesn't. So let's bring them in one by one. We've had a lot of people in the chat already over on Facebook. Hello to Adam Michael Groves. A up to you, sir. We've got Rafael there as well. Hello. Who else we got on here? We've got Fernandez. Hello to you. Monica from the team. Monica, how's it going? How's it going to you? Sorry, I just went out slightly out of control there.
Love that.
Also got Matt who's watching on YouTube as well. We have Jerry he used to be on our beautiful team, is here with us today as well. We've got Denise. Hello to you. Windows 11 is looking great. It really is. We will dive right into that in just a bit. And Adam says, loving the new backdrop. Check out our backdrop. I love it. You love it. Do you love it, Ben?
It's the fine details. I love it.
Do you love it? I'm a fan of this aesthetic, I must say.
He really is. Trust me. We had like a debriefing before, and I was like, right, Adam really likes it. Good. This is good.
It's nice. James over on Facebook as well. Hello to who as well. We have a lot of you watching tonight. We really do appreciate it. If you're watching either on our ExpertZone UK Facebook or ExpertZone Irish Facebook, or alternatively, if you're watching on our ExpertZone UK and I YouTube. And if you're not, go subscribe.
Oh yeah,
Gotta get a plug in there. Gotta
do plug. Like it.
But we need to move on. We're only here for about half hour. This is all really just to look back at what's just been announced since 4 p.m. when we had Panos come onto his lovely virtual stage, and we're going to do all the talking that we can about that. So first off, let's get into right off the bat. Favorite moments first. We'll go into everything that happened, but just whilst it's fresh in our minds, we'll start with you, Greg. What was your favorite moment from that entire presentation?
Oh, I mean, the storytelling and the presentation on its as a whole other level from
it really was, wasn't it? It was,
which is incredible. In terms of Windows 11, though, it's probably the bringing in of touchpad gestures onto touchscreen devices.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, it makes so much sense. It's gonna be amazing just to be able to take a Surface and just start swiping away as if it's everything that we already know with touchpads.
It's one of those things that makes sense and wonders why. Like it makes you wonder why I haven't been doing it already, kind of thing. Because I use touchpad gestures all the time. So the fact that you can, like, say if it's on a surface and detach that and bang, you can do the exact same thing. It makes so much sense. We've got, in terms of, I didn't even mention, people in chat, do mention what your favorite feature was from the entire presentation as well. We will bring them in as we go. We've already got them flying in. Denise on Facebook, Teams joining Windows. Yes, with the chat functionality, we will definitely get into that. We've also got this was another one from Denise. Android applications in the store. I think that's my favorite one personally. Again, we will get into the store in a moment because there's a lot to cover there. Lot of stuff that was said. Ben, what was your favorite moment from that entire thing?
Gaming. You know me. Gaming's a big part of like everything that I do. And it's something that's just good to see that synergy. Like the whole Xbox and gaming coming together, you know, Auto HDR, as they were saying before, first introduced with the new series consoles, bring it over, tying it in again, direct storage as well, again, built with speed in mind, right? So what I really like is just DirectX 12 Ultimate is really being taken to the ultimate level with these integrations. And then the star of the show, I mean, we've been saying it week in, week out, Game Pass integration built into the Xbox app, as well as other things being built in, having things feel more native, the service being part of the platform. I'm in love. I can't wait to test that. And definitely more of it.
Amazing. We've got James in on Facebook as well. Love how it looks like it's designed for mobile devices. I think that's something as well that's really worth a mention. Windows 10 has always been something that is able to run on a laptop or a detachable device or a 2-in-1 and stuff like that. But this feels like it really goes for it in terms of how easy it is to switch between the different kind of modes that you can go with. Apologies, guys, if I don't get your comments on screen. They are flying in thick and fast, so we will get to them as we go.
Got people in today. Hey.
People are in today. We will go through everything that we saw. So I was typing out like a madman, trying to keep up with everything that was said. Greg mentioned a moment ago around the storytelling that was involved in that. And I reckon when House opened up with that beautiful story about his home, his family home, and I thought that entire thing was a really great way to kind of compare to this idea of having something familiar and secure that people are used to, and very good way of kind of introducing the whole thing. We then had Windows 11 actually introduced with this modern, fresh, clean, beautiful. Those were the exact words that I caught out there. And let's talk about the first thing in terms of what makes this modern, fresh, clean, and beautiful. We have new animations. There is updated transparency. Every detail has been looked at, every pixel. We've got every color, every texture. We have redesigned themes with new light and dark modes, which is very, very, very tasty. And the centered start bar as well. There is a centered start bar there, which is particularly cool. And what do you guys think around the animations themselves and the feel of the whole thing?
Who goes first? Oh, cool. I'm going to go first. Well, I'll try not to drag this because I have a bad reputation for this. But I'm as someone that uses a lot of smartphones. These things have progressed really well on smartphones, and haven't kind of felt like it's caught up with the desktops, especially with how versatile desktops have become. And those things just make a subconscious difference to wanting to use a device, right? We talk about sometimes having an intangible feeling. The things you don't see on a spec sheet, for some reason, just wanting to use your device. I feel like that's what it does. Like the central start button, it takes away from you stressing out your peripheral vision. I was thinking about it and I'm thinking, why did it move from more of the left to the center? It's so you don't have to stress your peripheral vision to look left or turn left. And it seems like such a small thing, but think about how much hours we spend in front of the desktop now. It's just gone up exponentially, and just having everything at the center point of what you're doing as much as possible, it makes sense. And it kind of made me go into what were the design and R&D team thinking about when they were doing this. And it's the details. That's how I took it. It's the fine details, and that kind of obsession really just gets me excited. And it seems weird, but I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to just try it, so. And not to go into detail, but that's how I wanted to put it.
It's very, very cool. While we're at it, we've got stuff coming in on the chat, stuff about privacy and security. Wasn't a huge amount chat about on the actual announcement itself. We can take what we already know from Windows 10 going into Windows 11. So the Microsoft Edge browser, for instance, already offers a huge amount of tracking prevention and security and kid mode features, which you can already use on Windows 10 today. So that's stuff we can see carrying forward. And then, of course, there's Windows security itself, which has become such a good default antivirus for Windows 10. Wasn't something that we had mentioned in the announcement today, but as I say, we're in very, very, very early stages. We've got a long time to wait yet until we get to Windows 11, so I'm sure it's something that we'll see more talked about as we go forward. But
love that.
As I say, it's one of those things that we know it's really, really good in Windows 10, so it's something that's going to be great for Windows 11 as well. Outside of that, Greg, we didn't ask you about the animations.
I just loved how the soft visuals that they brought in, how all the edges are slightly rounded, and it just kind of gives it that sort of more welcoming and smoothness, which seems to just kind of flow through the whole thing. That visual impact, just those simple little things made, like all the little things that Ben's commented on, all those tiny little details have just added up to make something that is just beautiful and looks so smooth and inviting.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
I'll add one more thing.
Yeah, go for it.
Screen tech has just gotten amazing. Let's just not
really
forget,
hasn't it? Yeah, let's. No, go for it. Go for it. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, I agree. It's like screen tech has gotten so amazing. They're thinking forward of how screen tech that's gotten good now and how it's growing. You want your desktop to really take advantage of that, right? That's how I feel when I see it. So I just want to try it now, please.
Yeah, awesome. While we're at it, before we carry on as well, guys, if you do have any questions, do drop them in the chat. We will get to them. Please be respectful in the chat as well. Don't feel the need to spam the chat with questions. We do see them. We will get to them, and we'll answer whatever we can as well. What else? We had something around. If we're talking about visuals and stuff, I'm skipping ahead a little bit. Actually, no, I won't skip ahead because this was mentioned early on, which was widgets. And I wrote this down. There's something that Panos said. Widgets open like a... Hang on. Have I got my thing here? Widgets open like a sheet of glass. Swipe from the left, fully customizable. I loved that. That was so good. Sheet of glass, swipe from the left. Why can't I speak like that, man? That's just a beautiful line. But widgets themselves are, they look very, very cool, I think. And this is something that I really appreciate about this announcement is in terms of its look and its feel and the idea of widgets and stuff. They're all kind of things that we're quite familiar with on our devices these days. And so it's kind of bringing that flavor to Windows 11. And with widgets that are being, I've got my notes here. So you can pull them out from the left side for a half screen or go all the way for a full screen. You've got, I did have another note here for widgets. I can't quite find it. I'm not sure where I put it. I'll have to find that later, I think. I've got so many notes. But the customizable options, whether that's weather or your news feed and stuff like that, it is particularly cool. Another one is snap layouts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I need that.
Absolutely.
What do we think of snap layouts?
On point. I
mean, I use Snap as it is all day, every day. So be able to really nail the customization of where I want things to be is going to be fantastic.
Yes, please. Absolutely.
Did you want to add to that, Ben? Or?
No, I mean, think about what you said about native Android apps. That will feel more native because of snap layouts. I'm just looking at the finer details because your brain that is not dedicated for the platform to feel dedicated. You have to make it shape well. Something is shaping an aspect ratio. It has to be done properly, and you can already tell that they nailed it on point with that. So, and if you go back to your phone, you are a champion for your phone, right? Being able to link your Android phone to it, being able to have it natively built in with Snap Layout. Yeah, come on. Let's go. That's a big win. Massive win.
And just
win
like
indeed.
Greg and Jura brought up, the ability for when you kind of dock into second monitors and things like that, for it to just remember where you put everything.
Yes.
I mean, I'm constantly kind of moving around on my laptop to different parts of the house to try and get fresh environments for working in, and just be able to come back to my office and my multi-monitor setup and just plug it in and have everything go back to where it was. That is,
OMG.
that just makes the productivity just go so smoothly from away from the desk to coming back to it, and just kind of just makes it all nice and smooth.
Absolutely. We got a few more people in the chat. Hello to Derek over on YouTube. What have you missed? What have you missed? Where have you been, Derek? Whole announcement of so yeah, if you have just joined us, so this is our post reaction to the Microsoft event that went live at 4 p.m. They have announced Windows 11 as which will be coming later this year. I see a question in the chat saying about a release date. Don't have a release date currently. It will be later this year. What else have we got? I'm looking at the time. We got to go through some even more stuff with the snap groups. I appreciate the monitors and then being able to remember where the groupings are on the monitors. That's really cool. Improved desktops functionality as well with the different desktops, virtual desktops on screen. I thought that was awesome. Let's talk about the Teams integration directly into Windows.
Yeah.
To
What
be
do
able
we
to
think
get
about
a
that?
Teams chat, to be able to get a Teams chat in its own little window.
Yeah.
I can't wait for it, because at the moment it's just a case of, have the chat, then trying to find a document in a different Teams channel or whatever, and I end up losing the chat that I'm in. So to just be able to have and quickly open and access all the different Teams chats in their own little windows whenever, like that,
And it's such a simple thing as well, isn't it? Because it's like we use Teams all the time, right? Us three, like our whole team that we have is literally based on Teams. But it is very much a one window experience. You can open up chat in, like, if you kind of do the three dots next to it, you can open it in a separate box and stuff like that. But it's just something so simple of having it right there, bang in the middle, and just being able to straight away just have your little chat window open and stuff. It makes it more feel like a proper messaging service rather than just something you use for work, which I really appreciate. But the fact that they're integrating that directly into Windows is very, very cool. So connect with one touch, icon is front and center on the taskbar, connect with anyone in the world on any platform and device as well, was said. So that is very, very cool. We had some stuff we've talked about already. Tablet mode we've not really touched on too much. Platform agnostic, absolutely. It's an open system, which is beautiful. We had Philip came on to the stage at one point and he talked about tablet mode. We did mention the gestures already, but we haven't mentioned the smooth rotating and the bit that I spotted, the stacked snap layout. So when you turn it, it goes vertical with your snaps because it just makes sense.
Yep.
I love that. That's so good.
And without it like having a whole different layout, it just creates a little bit more space in between the different icons on your taskbar to make it slightly easier to access and slightly bigger touch points on the apps to actually be able to manipulate and move them around into the sort of the snap locations that we want. So it's going to be amazing with a touch device.
Adam says loved how well it all flowed as well. Yeah, again, back to those animations and stuff, really, really good. We got a question from Scott on YouTube. So, will you be able to use the Galaxy Store and things like Galaxy Wearable on Windows 11? Okay, so what we can say is what we had confirmed on there. And this brings us really to the Microsoft Store. So, we'll start with the fact that Android apps will be available on the Microsoft Store. That's awesome. Love that completely. Didn't have anything else confirmed about different stores. However, what we can confirm, and let me go through to it, is there was a big focus on developers here. And a huge thing was in terms of getting developers on the store, it doesn't matter whether it's a UWP, a Universal Windows Program. It doesn't matter if it's Win32 or the different type of application. They want developers to have their apps in the Microsoft Store. And it's a lot more. There's a lot more freedom to it. They also mentioned stores that want to bring their own commerce engines into it. They'll get 100% of what they get from those commerce engines straight to them. So that was a big kind of news thing as well. Adobe is working with Microsoft to bring their entire creative suite to the Microsoft Store. I very much appreciate that. And there is a session for developers as well.
Same.
So if you are interested in this sort of stuff, there is a session later today in the UK. It will be at 8 p.m. UK time, so you can head to Microsoft.com to find out more about that. But yeah, a lot to digest. What do you guys think of the new look Microsoft Store and the way they're approaching it now?
I mean, it looks like it's just going to be a huge amount easier to navigate and to use.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, we might have a delay on Ben, so Greg will go with you first.
Yeah, it just
Greg
looks so
first.
much cleaner and smooth. Looks so much cleaner that it's just going to be so much easier to actually navigate and find what we want. And it seems to really bring to the top all of the sort of the key things that are coming up. So if you are going into sort of the entertainment side of things, it was highlighting all of the sort of the major films and major TV programs that are really prominent at the current time. So it's really going to keep things up to date in that sort of manner. It just seems like it's going to be much easier to navigate. The current Windows Store is, I do everything through search with it. With this, just being able to go through some of the different tabs and avenues, it's going to be much easier as well, from what I could see on it anyway.
Absolutely. We will see. Ben, I want to get your thoughts on that, but I don't know if we've still got a delay with you, so we'll find out now.
Yes. Am I
there
delayed?
We go.
No. It's good. It's good because they built with just having quins just makes it more accessible. Personally, it's good to see that as well. I like the new icons. I'm a simple guy at times. The new icons that they've created look fancy and look pretty. I like that. I said it straight away. The new Teams icon alongside the traditional, I'm like, this looks cool. I like it. It looks clean and fancy. I like aesthetics. I think we've not mentioned that enough. It just looks nice. There's an element of this just looks really up to date and forward thinking. So yeah, just pointing out there. That's me.
Brilliant stuff. We will get onto a subject that you're going to really appreciate in a moment, Ben. But first, a couple things that I forgot to mention. We've got a new touch keyboard. Use the spacebar as a cursor, typing with your thumb. There is the voice typing as well.
Voice dictation, yes. Oh, yeah.
New, kind of in a new section of the screen now. And voice commands, so you can actually dictate what you're saying, and then the example used there was delete that, and it went back. Love it. And then we had let's get onto it. I'm sure you want to talk about it, Ben. Let's get onto gaming. They made a big deal about gaming in this presentation. Huge deal was made of it. Windows 11 was made for you was the key line that I took out from there. Superior graphics. They are introducing Auto HDR into Windows 11. Anyone who plays either Xbox Series X or S will be familiar with Auto HDR as it's something they've been using in Xbox. Coming to Windows 11. So that will give you auto updates for lighting and color and very, very cool stuff. One thing that I'm very excited about is the Direct Storage API. Now, this is, again, something that was first introduced to Xbox Series X and S, which allows your games to quickly load assets without bogging down the CPU with incredible detailed game worlds off the back of it. Tech that they currently use in the Xbox Series X and S, again, coming to Windows 11. It will support configured PCs. So we'll get I imagine we'll get more details on that around how that works down the line in terms of what PCs support it. But that is really great to hear. And then, of course, we wouldn't be here if we didn't talk about it. Game Pass, which, Ben, you mentioned earlier. Game Pass just seems ridiculous at this point. So
it does amaze me, the strength to strength. I mean, we look at E3, we look at the addition of Bethesda as part of the game studios of Microsoft at the minute, and you just think, how is it being done? How is it going from strength to strength? It went, maybe occasionally there was something about Game Pass. It just feels like every week there's that constant reminder of it's growing. And it's not just growing for quantity's sake. We're talking about quality as well, from the indie developers all the way to partners that are on there, like EA Play, like first party in-house. It's just growing from strength to strength. So that just excites me. But what excites me more is it not feeling like a separate service, right? It's more of everything feeling like it's just there. it makes sense to click on the Xbox app and you see Game Pass. It's there. It's not a separate service that you need to be thinking. It's that constant integration. And I think that's just such a big power win. We look at something like Auto HDR. We talked about display tech literally improving faster than we can think, right? And it's all to do with those games that were not developed with HDR in mind. This is taking a load off developers having to do it, and it's again natively integrated in. And in the past, people that have seen it work have just literally been amazed at how developers have not had to do anything. It just intelligently knows you've got the right display, it's compliant to it, flick of a switch, it just works, and you are getting improved color and dynamic range. Bravo. Bring it.
Bravo, indeed. We have just a few minutes left of this stream, so we'll kind of guys, if you got any more questions at all, please dump them in the chat. If we can get to them, we will answer them. We do have a deep dive stream coming up on Monday, which we will talk about in a bit. Last couple of things to talk about. We had the mention of Intel, AMD, and Qualcomm, and also the other manufacturers out there like Samsung, Dell, HP, Surface, etc. With new devices being designed as we speak. And that brings us onto a point as well. We obviously, there's a lot of you watching right now who will work in computing retail. And the point with that is, if you are working in computing retail right now, Windows 11 isn't going to be here for a while. So Windows 10 is still very much the thing. There are plenty of devices on Windows 10 which are ready for Windows 11. So do not worry about delaying to get a device. People can get a device today and be ready for Windows 11 when it comes around. And then finally, we had Satya come on stage. Always love to see Satya.
Yeah.
Inspiring, man. Talking about the history of Windows and this major milestone that we've come onto, and this new era of Windows that we're in, which really takes in this open ecosystem idea and promise, and that is a very, very, very cool thing. Before we wrap up, guys, any kind of final thoughts from you at all?
The one thing that I'm very much excited for as well, as if you went through all of the sort of the new touch features and that sort of thing, is haptics on pen input.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I'm looking forward to that. I love a good doodle. I love creating sort of mind maps and writing all over things. So to have the sort of the haptics from pen input as well coming, that's gonna be really nice. I'm quite a tactile person, so having that little bit of feedback in my hands is gonna be something that's gonna be very enjoyable for myself.
But I think it's good for accessibility. I think it's good for accessibility reasons as well. Just to add to what Greg was saying, haptics are so underrated to the experience on these devices. But I will say this, ending on Satya, I can talk about anything, I'll be inspired. I don't know how he does it, but he just does it so well. But I just love the analogy that he gave, that Windows has now become the platform where platforms are built. And using that space analogy where it's the first time I've ever seen Windows in that way. And that kind of just made me like, Windows is like space. And in space, there's so much happening there that's great. But those things are happening because space, right? It's the platform for all those great things to happen. And that's what Windows has literally become. And it's growing into that. This has been more than half a decade in the making, I'm guessing, or probably more, right? And what a time to, especially with the transition up through after the 18 months that we've had.
Absolutely.
So bring it on, man. Bring it on. I'm really excited.
There was a lot of chat around, of course, the last kind of year and a half that everyone's been through, and how much people rely on PCs now. And a huge part of this presentation was dedicated to the idea of making it easier people to use something that's intuitive and just open to all, really. We have run out of time, so we are going to start wrapping things up. Few quick beats to hit you with. We've already mentioned it. We'll mention it again. If you work in retail, and there will be a number of you that do, if you work in computing retail, don't worry about Windows 11 too much right now. It's not coming out for a while. Windows 10 is still very much the thing for now, where there's plenty of devices right now in stores and online which are Windows 10 and will be ready for Windows 11, so all good there. outside of that, we've also got a stream that we're doing this Monday. So Monday at 5 p.m. we'll be live across Facebook, ExpertZone UK, Facebook, ExpertZone Ireland, YouTube, ExpertZone UK I. So the same channels you are watching on right now. Wow. We will be live at 5 p.m. on Monday. I know it's strange being on a Monday if you're a regular viewer. I wonder why we're not on Tuesday. I wonder. We will be doing a deep dive, myself and Tom, into this event and talking in more detail about some of the things we learnt, and that will really be the time of anything, any questions that you have, and we'll try to get answers for you on them. That is everything from us. We're going to end tonight's stream on that beautiful video that the announcement kicked off on. Ben, thank you very much for being here.
Thanks for having me, man. As always, pleasure.
No worries. Greg, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me. Absolute pleasure.
Lovely stuff. And everyone here, thank you for being here today. We hope you're excited. We hope you're pumped. Make sure to tune in 5 p.m. on Monday, same channels, for when we do a deep dive into this stuff. Outside of that, hope you enjoy the vid. We'll see you around. Bye-bye.